Hey again, Dave here and back from Ornoshk. So after I made the last video, I was curious and wanted to check in on some of our old friends I mentioned. Turns out Lingo Steve Kaufman is still on YouTube, and he definitely never stopped uploading vids. It's been like a decade or more, I swear, since I watched him, so wow, a lot of content to go through if I want to catch up, and it looks like his Link app is still around. That reminds me of another language learning tool I found around the time I started Duolingo, and that is ReadLang. Actually, I got it installed in Chrome on my old phone somehow a few years ago, and used it for free to read random Norwegian stuff online, like Wikipedia articles and whatnot. Looks like that's still around too. I thought I read that it was bought out by Duolingo at some point, but the original site is still there with its branding, so maybe I'll check it out. Yeah, maybe that'd be a fun video format alternative to these voiceovers. Maybe you could find a way to use ReadLang on PDFs and EPUBs in the web browser. If I can find some fun public domain stuff, that'd be next level, I think is the term that kids are using nowadays. No, I'm kidding. Ultimately, I was interested in Link for Norwegian, but I sought out a free alternative and found ReadLang, and that was a few years ago. So I'd be interested in taking a look at both of these again in the future, so if you're interested, let me know in the comments. Also checked in on our dear old friend and hilarious blogger extraordinaire, Khatzumoto. He's still blogging. Maybe. If anyone can be counted on to make a strange and beautiful comeback after a hiatus, it is Khatzumoto. Last I checked, like 4 years ago maybe, he randomly started blogging again, but paywalled a bunch of his articles. So what does it say about me that I didn't want to pay to read them? Even though he's like secretly one of my favorite writers? Yeah, it's definitely not him, it's me. It's the same how back in the day when he invented his own spaced repetition flashcard software and dubbed it Surusu, despite, Surusu, despite Anki definitely being the meta then and now. So, yeah, I didn't want to pay for that either. Anyways, I'll always follow Khatsumoto's writings on and off quite faithfully, if one can do such a thing, as his blogging is hysterical. Sad that after all his years and his computer science education, his website still doesn't have HTTPS. Khatsumoto reminds me of the likes of Buddy Rich or Jimi Hendrix in a number of ways. Anti-establishment, but beyond question, one of the great talents in his field. I remember when TokyoSam on YouTube first dropped an actual video interview with Khatsumoto for all of us over on the Remembering the Kanji forums to enjoy. It feels like a lifetime ago. A lifetime in internet terms, absolutely, because it was like 13 years ago. And apparently, TokyoSam is still active on YouTube. How weird is that? And as of like a year ago, posting about AJAT on YouTube still. Maybe that's a testament to how small the American expat community is in Japan, relatively speaking. But anyways, there goes another few hours of my life down the YouTube. Sorry, I'm just gonna keep reminiscing. I also remember at that time, like 13 years ago or whatever, I was pretty active on the Kohi Remembering the Kanji forums. A Belgian guy named Fabrice, I think, still managing it. He's the guy who created it. And they have a cool web tool that at the time was basically the Lightner system, specifically implemented for learning kanji with Heisig's book. I remember at the time I was still very much a vehement follower of my parents' religion, and I even started a massive religious fight on the forum and got banned for a few days. That's ancient history, but shockingly, last I checked a few years back, the thread is still there and sticky in the forum. I don't even know if the forum exists anymore, but I can't believe it. I'll never forget the kind strangers that talked me down in that forum all those years ago. So I also checked in on one of Khatsumoto's personal faves. Wait for it. Drum roll, please. Sorry, I just can't dish out the name without a bit of drama because honestly, I really had to rack my brain to remember the name. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get a round of applause for Dr. Stephen Krashen. Anyway, by checking him, I perused the relevant parts about him on Wikipedia. a lot to digest, actually. I probably have it in me to understand more of his writings now than when I was a teenager, so maybe that's fodder for another video too. Maybe we'll do some hot armchair takes on the input hypothesis or something, you know. Big ideas from an unqualified random person on YouTube who's basically illiterate in every language but English. Oh boy, the YouTube algorithm will have to love that. So anyways, if it bothers you that I ramble about merely tangentially related topics whilst doing these Duolingo voiceovers, please know that I am sorry. I'm not much for speaking practice, although maybe I'll do that with Norwegian at some point on this channel. But I always skip it when the speaking practice comes up in the Duolingo app. Input hypothesis, remember? But one of these days I'll do a proper live commentary on a few Duolingo lessons, or maybe on one of the stories for a language like French. Hey, that reminds me, Norwegian still doesn't have stories on Duolingo. Sad face. Anyway, thanks for watching. You have a good one.